Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. I'm going to be on the subject of purpose for a few days, but I'm going to also make some other videos in between with some other information. But it's important that men find their purpose and follow it. Now, I'm going to give you some of my personal business, and I'm going to give you an example of what not to do. I ain't got no excuses. I can say, though, that without my father, after he passed, my parents were married. They took a vow till death do them part. And my mom stayed loyal to my dad, and death did them part. And here go people who can't navigate a four-way stop sign again. All right. Destruction Derby. Mad Max in the Thunderdome. You died, these four-way stop signs are down here. Anyway. So number one, you find yourself a man who has the type of life, and granted, if you're young, first of all, if you got a father, he's in your life, he seemed like he's mean and don't let you do what you want to do, and man, I'm tired of that. Is a blessing. You need those boundaries. You need that structure. So I'm not saying this doesn't apply to you. You follow your father, and then you take his prototype, and if there's things you want to add to it that you see other men doing, do that. Now, unless your father's unsuccessful or not masculine or something like that, or if his wife runs his life, that type of thing, okay. In that case, then you are darn near in the boat with the man who ain't got a father. If your dad is some pushover or some deadbeat, okay, I get that. And you know, women love deadbeats, and they'll have a baby for them in a second. So that is possible. Now, if you need to have some form of a masculine influence in your life, whether that be coaches, teachers, mentors in your career field, and that or the career field that you think you want to go into, that is an excellent way to go, by the way. And you probably need a combination of all of them. And remember, when you're a kid, you hear me say this on this channel frequently. You'll hear me say this frequently. While you're a kid, you use that kid currency because people are reaching out to you to give you information. After that, people are looking at you like, okay, what did you do with your time, bro? It's not like with females where people are coming out to save you and doing that in mass numbers and stuff like that. When I turn around, something's gonna be in my eyes. All right. So you use that mentor, you ask them how they got where they are. You observe them, listen to them, spend time around them when you can. If they have a lifestyle like you want to live, if they married and you see that marriage, these people appear happy, hey, ask them, number one, are y'all actually really happy? You know, aside from the wife. You know, this is important. Why? Because as a young man, look, you dealing with females who are getting close to their prime. Women hit their prime early. Women hit their prime in like their 20s. You ain't even close to your prime yet, right? So a lot of times you looking like, I gotta have these women right now, especially with all this junk on the internet, with these jokers telling you everything needs to be about a woman. You need to run game about a woman. You need to, everything needs to be about a woman. And these women won't act right. And you gotta put them in the chokehold and body slam them and come off the top rope with the people's elbow to make these women act right. Man, that's not your purpose. Whatever your purpose is, you need to follow it. Do not divert your purpose chasing after no doggone woman. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I did that. I was my high school sweetheart from a city called Natchitoches, Louisiana. If you look up what Raven Simone looked like back in the 90s, that's what my high school sweetheart looked like. I mean, the lady just turned heads, and quite frankly, my first wife was like that too. Back then, the same thing that made me and made a lot of the gentlemen around me successful was the same thing that would cause us to make errors with women, and that was pride, ego, and competition, which all can be healthy to a certain degree. But we'd be more worried about, I got a better looking female than you, than I got a better woman than you. And see, that's where that male mentor comes in. And let me help you out, fellas. Women should do this. It's even more to their advantage. But when you first thinking about being serious with a female, bring her to your mama and your dad. Mama can tell you some things that you ain't gonna pick up on. See, my first ex-wife was gay. I had a cousin who actually knew that because she's gay. But I was so headstrong and floating through life without my dad, I didn't know. I didn't know. There was some telltale clues. I ain't gonna get into it today, but it's like, nah, again, I was more worried about how fine she was, which is the wrong reason to be getting stuck with a woman who's causing you all kinds of problems, because she was problematic. Both of these females that I mentioned, they were problematic. Probably still Actually, they are still problematic in other people's lives now, but that ain't my business. Anyhow, in addition to getting married too early, so let me go back to the high school sweetheart. I grew up watching my parents married. The story for them was they courted, then they got married. But without my dad being able to just explain to me, hey man, the world is starting to change and people are raised different, I just made the bad assumption that, okay, well, that's how that goes. And that's not necessarily the case. It wasn't necessarily the case back then. It ain't the case now. Let me rephrase that. So I ended up transferring from one university to another to put me in a better position to be able to go to school, work. I made it to where this chick didn't have to work. All she had to do was finish school herself, high school, because she was a year younger than me. And that was it. Keep the house clean, her apartment, cook a meal, study. That's all she had to do. Didn't happen. She was more comfortable in the environment she was raised in. I went and did my own thing solo for a little while. Wasn't focused like I should have been on my studies. When I transferred to the university that's near where I grew up at, I went from making straight A's to darn near flunking out because I'm just trying to work, buy the nicest vehicle, the biggest rims, the most Jordans, all types of foolishness that had nothing to do with nothing. Met a woman who, and that's the first ex-wife. I figure, okay, well, she come from a two-parent household. They claim to love the God of the Bible. She's in college. Seemed like a complete package, right? No. But I could, and with her, she was pretty, but she was broke. So again, I'm taking care of a female, paying all the bills, because, you just figure, okay, well, that's what a man's supposed to do. But I was way too young for all that, man. So what ended up happening was, instead of me being focused on my goals, I tried to focus on a family first, assuming that, these chicks wanted to build with me. And that wasn't the case, man. They just kind of sapped resources, sapped time, sapped money, and weren't very grateful for it. I put up with stuff I shouldn't have put up with. That's my fault. I picked these women wrong. That's my fault. What should have happened is I should have focused on my goals. Now, I will say this. It's a bit of a long shot. Even, now maybe it was a better thing then, but maybe a more likely choice then. I don't know that many people with happy marriages. One that I do know was, see, my high school sweetheart grew up in a different city, different mindset, different everything. One of my good homeboys, him and his wife met in high school and they stuck it out together until now. And the thing about meeting a chick in high school, well, you ain't really got nothing, so it's not necessarily that she wants you for material things. It's very likely she just likes you for you, but you're still taking a chance now because people's values are just all across the board now. Anyway, I knew I wanted to be some form of a business person. Now, it's manifested much different than I thought. Later in life, I didn't think I'd ever be doing any type of blue collar skill. Didn't think I'd be an educator primarily either. But I knew that much about myself at a very young age. So I knew that was part of my purpose. I should have been focused on my purpose and not on them damn women. Now, what I didn't know to do back then was to ensure that said woman has a purpose for talking to me and wants to be a part of my purpose and my vision and my goals. That's what a helpmeet is. That's what the Bible defines a wife as. And y'all know my stance. If I ever get married again, it'll be by way of a private marriage contract or some form on my terms. I'm not going to let the government ever dictate what's going to happen in my family life again. And I'm not going to use these laws or put myself subjective to these laws in America to where I can be taken to court and get decimated by these laws that are not in men's favors concerning, I don't even want any more children, but concerning marriage and how the assets are split afterwards. But anyway, right now, and there's a process I'm going through. I'll talk about it this weekend. I never even thought I'd be talking about it in public, but it might just be time for me to talk about it because I know young men can use this process, but maybe my perspective may help. But anyhow, right now that I know what I know now, and I wish I knew it then, and it's going to sound lame to most women. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say it's strictly a biblical thing. I would say it's a basic manhood principle, but you call it what you want. But anyway, I'm focused on my purpose. So I do have females who want to chit chat or more from time to time, but right now, the question I need to have an answer to is, okay, darling, I hear you. You're a nice looking lady, this, that, and the other, but all right, what's the purpose? What are your goals in life? Because we got to want the same things, and it needs to serve me some type of purpose. And right now, hanging out, wasting time and wasting money, or just having random sex, right now, that ain't serving no purpose in my life. So you need to, I would recommend that you not get entangled with any. As a matter of fact, this is actually coming from another guy's Facebook page. I'm not going to mention his name. I don't know if he wants his name mentioned on here, but I would say in some way, shape, form, or fashion, when you're doing your vetting process, in addition to what a woman carries herself like, what kind of family background she has, type of reputation she has, her belief system, hey, does she want to help you or benefit your purpose? Or is it just entertainment for her? Because most of these chicks just want to be entertained. I'm not no entertaining dude. I got somewhere I'm trying to go in life for specific reasons, financial, spiritual, generational wealth, that type of thing. And then, I'm of the notion that if you do your work and do your due diligence first, you can put yourself in a position where your life is much easier than most people around retirement age. So that's what I want to leave you with. When you discover your purpose, stay on it. Don't be diverted by females. Now, there's some other things that can divert your purpose too. Laziness, wanting to play and party too much, trying to take the easy way out of everything, not getting your skill set together. These are things these are things that'll take away from you trying to get somewhere and delay you getting to your purpose. Because the sooner you get there, the better off you'll be for the long run. So why delay it? Why delay your own success? Go ahead and get it over with. Take them necessary steps up front. The sooner the better. So the opposite of that would be, what would add to your purpose? Getting proper rest, not playing around too much, not watching all this silly stuff on TV, networking with people who are trying to go somewhere else or go somewhere in life, not just messing around with jokers who, are going in circles or just floating through life aimlessly. Once you discover your purpose, focus and get on it. Don't be diverted from it. So yesterday's video was about moving with purpose, but okay, when you get on your purpose, focus and stay on it. Don't be diverted from it. Remember that video I made about momentum makers, takers, and breakers? Don't allow people to take your momentum and shift it somewhere else. Don't you be your own momentum taker and shift your momentum somewhere else. You be your own momentum maker. There's going to be a woman, friends, people in your life. They need to be force multipliers on your purpose so they can 2x you, 5x you, because we all need to be going somewhere. It ain't the most fun lifestyle, but how much fun do you need? You done had a whole childhood of fun. At what point does a man get serious and say, okay, let me go ahead and handle business? Because when you have your tools and everything that you need, your finances in order, your legal protections in order, because problems still arrive whether you're trying to have fun or not. But it ain't fun when you don't have everything that you need to solve problems. Then life becomes a big pot of misery while you're waiting on somehow for an issue to be resolved that's out of your hands, and you don't have the means to deal with it. You don't want to be in that situation. So I preach living a disciplined life, a purpose-filled life. And I want you to gather what you're hearing in this series and try to take it and use it on your path. Not the quickest way to something is a straight line. So we're not taking curvy paths. We're trying not to do circles. We're trying to get straight there in the most efficient way possible. So what we'll talk about tomorrow is trying to identify your purpose and some things I think that could help you identify what you need to be doing. Asking why will definitely help, like yesterday. But there's some other specific questions besides why am I doing this that will help you identify what your purpose is. So I'll discuss those tomorrow. You're welcome to hit the like button. It's free. Comments are free. I've had some racist comments and some people arguing and fussing in the comments. Stuff like that I may delete it, but you're welcome to speak your mind. It's a free country and a free platform. I want things to be productive here, though. Share this information. I do believe it will benefit some men out there because many men are unfocused these days. Be a man. Stay a man.